1976. And I'm 5 years old. And I'll never forget because my late uncle, Aunt Celeste, asked me if I wanted to go to a baseball game. And she asked me if I wanted to go see Reggie Jackson play. And Reggie Jackson had just signed with the Baltimore Orioles as a free agent. And I can just remember being like, I really didn't know who Reggie Jackson is. I had his baseball card, and it said All-Star on it, so I knew he was pretty good. But I was like, yeah, let's go see Reggie Jackson. So I'll never forget, my Aunt Celeste takes me to Memorial Stadium. It's the Orioles against the A's. And she got me a seat out in right field. I'm 5 years old. I literally walked through the tunnel, and it's the most grass I had ever seen in my life in the middle of Baltimore City. And it was so beautiful. And I could smell peanuts and cotton candy and stale beer. And people were smoking in the stands. It was great. It was awesome. And I remember sitting down, and my Aunt Celeste turns to me, and she goes, "There's Reggie Jackson right there." And she had us right in right field where I was literally sitting right next to Reggie Jackson. And I'm a 5-year-old kid. And I just started screaming at the top of my head, "Reggie! Reggie!" I mean, I just was so loud and annoying. And I just kept screaming his name over and over and over. And I'll never forget it. Reggie Jackson turns and looks at me. And he's got those big round sunglasses on. I mean, it's classic Reggie Jackson. He's got the big round sunglasses, and he's got the afro hanging out on both sides of the Oriole hat. And he smiles at me, he points at me, and he waves at me. And I was a 5-year-old kid, and I will never fucking forget that moment ever in my life. A baseball fan forever, right then and there. I don't know what an Oriole is, but I love the Orioles. I don't even know what it is, but that's good enough for me. And Reggie Jackson, that's my dude forever. I will never forget that moment. And it was one of those indelible moments that, especially with my Aunt Celeste being gone now, I always think about that moment with my Aunt Celeste at that game. And I'll be a baseball fan forever because of that moment. Reggie Jackson smiled at me with those big glasses, and he waved to me, and for a 5-year-old kid, that was my everything. Now, I've had crazy experiences in baseball stadiums. I can't even begin to tell you some of them. I'll never forget the time I took my little brother to see, we had just gotten Fernando Valenzuela. We had just gotten Fernando Valenzuela on the Baltimore Orioles. And he was facing the defending champion Toronto Blue Jays. And my little brother had never been to a baseball game. And we pretty much watched Fernando Valenzuela shut down the Toronto Blue Jays that day. It was amazing. It was amazing. Or the time that I've gone to Yankees games and I'll literally go right outside the gates and buy a Yankee hat and then throw it into the ground and kick that hat all the way around the stadium. And then I'll kick it into the stadium and then I'll kick it into the bathroom and let people piss on it and step on it and kick it around. And then I'll kick it all the way up to my seat. And then for all the little Yankee fans that are sitting around me, I'll offer to sell it to them for 50 cents. I mean, that's a great deal. I had one kid, one Yankee fan, got so mad at me, he tried to grab the hat. So I stood on the hat. And this kid is literally trying to grab the hat while I'm standing on top of it. And I literally turned to the dude, straight face and all, very calm, and I told him, I would not touch that hat if I was you. I've pissed all over it. And the look of horror and shock and disgust on his face, well, that just made my night. And I left a happy man as he ran down the street screaming bloody murder. I mean, I've had some of the funniest moments in baseball stadiums. The last night, Roger Clemens pitched in Camden Yards, and I'm singing Old Man River to him while we blast him out of the stadium. That was a great night. Or the night me and Justin McGeary went to PNC Park, and the Cubs were beating the Pirates in the bottom of the eighth. Michael the Fort McHenry comes up and hits a bomb to left field, and the Pirates win. Raise the Jolly Rogers. I mean, it was just, what an incredible game. I've seen some of the most incredible sights. Hey, I went to a baseball game one time, and my cousin, we walk up to the front of the gate, and my cousin's like, here, hold my gun. I had to hold his gun. As I was told, everything that he touched turned to gold. He's the greatest of the great, and get it straight, he's great. Claim fame because his name is known in every state. His name is Jay, to see him play will make you say, so, some of the greatest moments that I've ever known, I've been in baseball stadiums. And I guess that's sad in a way. But it's true. Some of my most indelible moments in my life have been inside a baseball stadium. And that's why I posed a question out to you guys. So, we went through, we read all of them. We read every single one of them, guys. And don't think that just because you lost, we didn't like your story, man. All these stories were good, and anybody could have won. Honestly, anybody could have won this contest. We did come down to our final three, and I'm going to read them off to you. Coming in third place and winning absolutely nothing. That would be Kyle Chambers out of Washington, New Jersey. Kyle Chambers out of Washington, New Jersey. He writes to me, my dad and I had a rocky relationship when I was a kid. He would take me to Yankees games to bond. I wasn't a sports fan. I would often get bored in the bleachers in the Bronx. It wasn't until 1997 when the Mets played the Yankees and I saw the beauty of the rivalry firsthand. I saw the beauty of the rivalry firsthand. The Yanks, and I saw the beauty of the rivalry. It was right then and there I became a Mets fan. The Mets won 6-0, and since then my relationship with my dad has grown immeasurably. We have a healthy rivalry for crosstown teams. He's Yanks, I'm Mets. He's Giants, I'm Jets. But we both like the Knicks, though. Oy vey. I'd rather have an enema than watch the Knicks, though. I mean, that's just my opinion. But that was the third place. That was the third place story. That's an awesome story, and we noticed a little theme here. And even with my story, you know, a lot of baseball has to do with family. And you see it right here with this story from Kyle. Didn't have a great relationship with his father. You know, what he classified as a rocky relationship. And baseball brought them together, even though they root for different teams. So, Kyle Chambers, great job. Third place finish. Can't complain with that. You get the bronze, my friend. And good job, man. Stick around. Listen to the show. It's the Jake Robinson Sports Experience on the Let's Talk Baseball Podcast Network. I got your hook up. Holler if you hear me. I'm half man, half podcast machine. So I guess that's going to bring us to second prize. We all... We each of us had this on our ballot. And the second place winner is Eric Ball out of Baltimore, Maryland. Eric Ball wrote to me, my favorite baseball story was about 10 years ago when my oldest son was about 7. We went to an Orioles game at Camden Yards where the stadium was half empty. We sat third base side, upper deck. We were pretty much by ourselves, and I brought in blue cotton candy from a concession stand about an inning later. I fell asleep, and my phone started ringing off the hook. I wake up dazed. It's my mom telling me they just showed us on the big screen. And I was completely asleep with my 7-year-old with blue cotton candy all over his face. No less than 5 people called me commenting on my fathering skills. I think every baseball stadium in the major leagues has that picture on their big screen. Somewhere there's a father falling asleep and there's a kid right next to him with like cotton candy all over his face, and he's like drinking beers from the neighbor. He's like sneaking beers from the neighbors. I mean, that's what I used to do, right? What an awesome story. I can just see you on Masson now. Stretched out, Camden Yards, watching this horrible Orioles baseball. Knocked out, and your kid is just running amok all over Camden Yards. It doesn't even matter. What an awesome story, dude. Like I said, we all had you on our ballot. And you were our second place winner. And I got news for you, buddy. We were only supposed to give you 10 baseball cards. But we came through and we're giving you 30 baseball cards. And I mixed them up. Orioles and Cardinals. I know you like both of those teams. So I'm gonna get your information from you sometime today. And thanks for the share, man. That was a really, really funny fucking story, man. That's good shit, man. And again, you know, here we go. Family, right? That seems to be the underlying theme here. Family. Family's gonna win. And baseball is about family. It still is. That's beautiful. So that just leaves first place, right? If I had a producer right here, I'd have like drum roll sound effects for you and everything. But, you know, I can only do so much with one brain and 2 hands. So the winner of the $25 gift certificate to Dick's Sporting Good and the t-shirt of the favorite team It's Michael Dietz out of Peoria, Illinois. Peoria, Illinois. Isn't that where Wayne's World was from? How do we know that Michael Dietz isn't Wayne Campbell?